Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome post-game as the Saints fall to the New England Patriots 26-24. Larry Holder, Jeff Duncan here with you at NOLA.com. And even though to me it was a loss, and to the scoreboard it was a loss, and maybe to some fans it was a loss, I thought there were a lot of good things to take away from this game. I don't know, we're going to touch on a couple of players each, what we liked, what we didn't like. I'll start off first defensively. I thought they came out, played very well. I like what I saw from Hau'oli Kikaha, and having Akeem Hicks to me is a difference maker. And both of those two guys, you saw some pass rush from those guys. You saw them be able to stop the run. So look, the defense was much better than it was last week.
And you pointed out Kikaha had his hand on the ground, right?
Right.
And he hasn't been doing much of that, so that was something I think he maybe feels a little more comfortable doing. But I thought the first team defense was drastically improved from a week ago, where they kind of got bullied by Baltimore early on. On the flip side, I thought the offense also was a lot better. And early on, of course, Drew Brees dominated. He looked just like he did here in 2009 against the Patriots, where he lit them up. I'm sure Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were having flashbacks as they watched him. But more than that, we all know Drew Brees can play, but I thought the offensive line really controlled things. And you talked about the defensive line. That's a good sign for the Saints. They struggled a year ago with both lines controlling the line of scrimmage, and I thought tonight they owned it on both sides of the ball.
And then you look at offensively as well. You got to like what you're seeing from Mark Ingram within the passing game.
Right.
I think you look at the way he was able to get on that wheel route, and he's been growing that part of his game. And so to me, once C.J. Spiller gets healthy, if he gets healthy, I'm assuming he's going to get healthy.
Can he stay healthy?
Right. Can he stay healthy? That's a big question. But I think it just brings an element of unpredictability because if Ingram and even Kyrie Robinson, we've seen him catch the ball real well.
Well, I was going to mention him. I mean, he's the forgotten back. Everybody's excited about Spiller. We know we got in Ingram, but Kyrie Robinson, he's had a good camp, and he's a great runner. I mean, he really is a good running back. So they're set in the backfield, and I think that's another area that we're going to see this team be better at than they were a year ago. They're going to run the ball better.
Now, let's shift over to the coaching staff, which is something that we've been wondering, how are they going to use Dennis Allen on a game day? Last week in Baltimore, he was in the booth. Today, he was on the sideline, and we had some familiar faces that are on the sideline in the booth, in particular Joe Vitt, Bill Johnson. What do you make of this situation?
Well, I think they're tinkering, trying to streamline that substitution process. They had a lot of problems with that. We saw the Greenbrier at training camp, a lot of voices on the sideline, I think, confusing the players and leading to some of those 12 men on the field issues. We saw them have that problem a year ago, and I think they're just tinkering with it to see what's the best process. Whether it sticks or not, who knows, but for the most part, they had 12 men on the field tonight that did not make Sean Payton happy. For the most part, I thought it was much improved. So.
And that happened late in the second quarter, so you had some second-teamers in there, so maybe not as much of a concern. And it's interesting the positioning of where Dennis Allen was between Sean and between Rob Ryan, but typically that's where Joe Vitt would be. So I think they I wrote my column about how much they tinker with on defense, and obviously you got to change some things. But, yeah. I'm curious to see how much of that moves forward. If example 1 goes well, if example 2 goes well next week against the Texans, they may have to stick to that point.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. Sean Payton, just like most coaches, is superstitious, and it almost looked like Dennis Allen was a human buffer between Sean Payton and Rob Ryan. So maybe he's going to be the guy that runs interference from those sideline incidents we saw a year ago.
And we do know how much Sean Payton trusts Dennis Allen. I mean, that's
no
pretty
doubt.
evident. So yeah.
No doubt. And I thought the other thing tonight, just last thing, and this isn't a player, but Sean Payton mentioned it. They looked much more. Their body language was better to start. He talked about playing with emotion. They came out ready to play, and they really took it to New England when the regulars were on the field. And I thought that was a great sign. I
mean, when Tom Brady's on the field and he goes 3 and out 3 times, I mean, that's a good sign. And when you have no one in the secondary, none of your starters. I mean, and we don't even know if Jarrett Bird's in the state. Who knows? Who knows where this guy could be?
We were looking for him. We couldn't find him tonight. We were
Hashtag bird watching, and we still can't find him. So for Jeff Duncan, I'm Larry Holder. Thanks for joining us here at NOLA.com. Again, the Saints fall 26-24 against the Patriots, and they'll be back in this building next Sunday against the Houston Texans. Thanks for watching.